Lawler. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russellway right along ringside, all ready to go with another big day, championship wrestling. Unfortunately, our old sidekick Dave Brown won't be able to be with us today, so we're going to have a big show that he's going to have to miss in this particular situation. We've got a great opener with Buzz Sawyer going against Jimmy Golden. Ought to be a fine scientific match. Don Carson and Dennis Condrey come in here, thrill, with Roger Howell and Tommy Gilbert as their opponents in what ought to be a spirited tag match for a fact. You're going to see the team of Robert Fuller and Bill Superstar Dundee going against the Destroyers and Danny Davis. Mongolian Stomper will be in, and his opponent is going to be Burrhead Jones. The Assassins, number 1 and 2, will take on Tuffy Taylor and Jerry Barber, and we're going to be looking at plenty of more wrestling action. I guess if we're going to get it all in, we better get to it right now. You stay right where you are. We're going to be back with Jim Golden going against Buzz Sawyer in just one moment. Opening bout today, introducing on the left of the screen, weighing in at 227 pounds from St. Petersburg, Florida, introducing Buzz Sawyer. His opponent today in this one-fall 15-minute time limit bout, coming in at 232 from Montgomery, Alabama, Jimmy Golden. Jimmy Golden. Your referee is Jerry Calhoun. A one-fall 15-minute time limit bout should be a doggone good bout. Bell time, and we're off and running. Buzz Sawyer, an outstanding young amateur out of Florida. Jimmy Golden, who really is not that old, but in terms of experience, Jimmy's had a lot of it, has been in some very, very big matches. Hooks that arm, rolling arm lock, takes him over and down. So Jimmy definitely has the experience. He has the height. Somewhat of a weight advantage over the stockier Buzz Sawyer. Well-built young fellow who can really go. Step over toe hold, Golden, with that long leg. Hooked in there, and the toe of Buzz Sawyer down, and Golden mashing it down a little bit further. Sawyer, who's been impressive since we have first seen him a couple of weeks ago in the area, going against certainly one of the toughest opponents that he has had in his young professional career. Golden on the left, Sawyer on the right. Referee Jerry Calhoun standing side headlock. Sawyer shakes him to the ropes. They crisscross in there as Golden comes in. Sawyer goes down under. Yeah, arm drag, hooks him in. With that hip, he tossed him right over. Golden right back up and at him. Oh, look at that. See that Jimmy Golden move. Bars the arm on the mat. Sawyer trying to work his way up, and does, to his feet. We're at a minute and a half into the action as Jimmy Golden comes up. He has that wrist locked, and he pops it up and a hammer. Look at Sawyer. Picked him straight up, body slam. Jimmy Golden down on the mat as Sawyer trying to find a spot where he is going to be vulnerable. Leg dive, and down goes Sawyer. And a half crab, Jimmy Golden, and one that could be effective on him. He's trying to bend it back in there, but look at Sawyer, straight up in the air. He uses those strong arms and shoulder muscles. Takes Golden straight up. He only had a half crab on him. It's a doggone good one, but a lot of times when a guy is fresh, it's very difficult to hold. At the 2-minute mark, a little test of strength in here as Jimmy Golden caught underneath. Sawyer with a much better advantage in there tight. If they were up top, Golden with his height. Whoa, beautiful. Goes up with a drop kick. Sawyer goes down. Golden goes for a pin. 1, 2, but that's all he gets out of it. Jimmy Golden gets a 2 count on Buzz Sawyer. There's a whip across the ring and coming off the rope. Back dive, sunset flip. He's down. 1, 2, and not quite the 2 count as Jimmy Golden wiggles the way out, and it may be for Sawyer 2, but Sawyer kicks his way out. A couple of almost, but that won't get it. Up in the air, Golden takes him. Suplex, right straight back, and Sawyer down. A cover, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be it at 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Jimmy Golden with an outstanding win over young Buzz Sawyer. Man, he took him up. I think Sawyer thought he was going to come down with the atomic drop. He looked like he was getting ready to kick his way out. But at that point, Jimmy reversed it and came right straight back over in the suplex and ends up in 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Jimmy, come on in here. Congratulations on it. We were just saying it looked like that Buzz was expecting. You want to sit down there with us? Because I got another match I'd like to talk to you about. It looked like Buzz maybe thought you were coming down with that atomic drop on the knee, and he was going to kick his way loose. When you saw him change it, you reversed it into a suplex and got that 3 count. Great.
Great. Thank you. You can go either way with that. Atomic dropper, that's called belly-to-back suplex, and it's a good one.
Boy, it was a good one in that case, and there are a couple of almost a doggone good bout with Jimmy coming out. I said you're a young guy, but you got a lot of experience in professional wrestling behind you, with a lot of big matches already in your career.
Well, I tell you, I want to appreciate it. Say thank you to the promotion right now for giving me this big break, and I'm going to try real hard to take good advantage of it.
We got some tape out of Dothan, Alabama. You had a match down there, a guy that we haven't seen in quite some time, Rip Smith. I'd like to have it roll down. If you'll sit here with me,
Okay,
Jim, because I know this is one you remember very well, and if I wanted the fans to see it. Let's take a look right now. In Dothan, Alabama, Jimmy Golden going against Rip Smith. Of course, you had the height advantage that you normally do. But this Smith is quick, and boy, does he go. He makes you go.
He sure can. He's fast, and he's strong, and really there's not enough that I can say about the man. I've known him for quite some time. He played football for Tampa University. He wrestled, was a very good wrestler down there, won a state championship. And Mr. Smith, I can't say enough about him. He's a heck of a wrestler.
We had a chance to talk to Rip a little bit earlier. I guess it was several weeks back, to say maybe a couple of months or so back. And Rip was telling us about the experience of being in Paradise Alley, the Sylvester Stallone wrestling movie. And at this point, you've got what is not a very spectacular one, but boy, it's sure a good head scissors.
You're trying to keep him down and keep him from going so much, because, like you said, it's hard to keep up with him. He's so fast, and once he gets a hold of you, he's very strong, and it's hard to get away from him. But right here, I got the upper hand with the head scissors and trying to hold him down, but that's hard to do. You see, he'll get out of it here in a minute. He don't stay down there too long.
I noticed that Rip has that style, and in one sense, it's good if you can reverse moves, that sort of thing, but Rip continually he comes at you. He's not the kind of guy that lays back and wrestles defensively. He comes at you all the time.
He's offensive all the way.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they taught him in school and football and wrestling down in Tampa, and that's just the way he's trained, and the man just, like you say, he stays after you all the time. But right here, he's giving me a big backdrop there. Got the back hurt a little bit, so I'm trying to stall and stay in the corner and stay away from him. And at this point, he gets me out. He's got a bear hug on me. And like I say, he's so strong, man, it's hard to get away from him. He can hurt you.
Nice hip toss. You got him right over on that hip.
He's going to come right back and try to get that bear again. He picked me clean up off the floor. He's strong and just holding me there, squeezing me. And it was all I could do to keep him giving up, slamming me on my back again, really working on that back. And the guy's just continuously driving, try to get the 1, 2, 3 count. But I got a little determination, too, that he ain't going to get that.
You said something just a moment ago, Jimmy, that I think is very important, and that is after that big backdrop, you said you were trying to get just a little breather. That sometimes changes the tide if you can get just enough of a breather in there to get you back from the big slam.
If you can just work around somewhere. Right here, tries to pick me up for atomic drop, but I switched in behind him. Whoops, there's the same little move I did a while ago, right on his head. And, brother, they don't get up too much from that. And held him down for the 1, 2, 3 count, and it was a great victory for me, Lance.
Golly, I'll tell you what, it was a dandy, Jimmy, and we're just delighted to be able to have you in this area, and I'm looking forward, because you have just been going great, and good luck on the continued success. Jimmy Golden, and we got more wrestling action coming up for you, and we'll be back to it in just a moment. We're going to be back into the ring in just a second. We'll be seeing Dennis Condrey and Don Carson in action in a big tag match in just a moment. Eddie Marlon right here with us. Eddie, we want to talk a little bit about the action around the territory, as my old sidekick Dave is away. I want to sit here and talk to you. I by golly, haven't gotten a chance to get around to many of the towns, and I really miss it. I'm wanting to get back out to the area. How about coming up tonight in Jonesboro?
It's going to be a big match in Jonesboro tonight, Lance. It's a Texas death match, and it'll be Robert Fuller's first time there in a long time. Jimmy Golden's first time there in a long time. They'll have Condrey and Carson. And on the card will be Robert Gibson, Mike Stallings, which hadn't been there in a long time, an old favorite there, Burrhead Jones. It'll be that death match and then 3 other big matches.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a son of a gun that just goes and goes and goes till somebody can't continue. That's the kind you get hurt in. March the 1st, Northeast Junior College. You're coming back to Boonville, Mississippi.
Boonville, Mississippi. Dennis Condrey and Carson will be down there, too. And they'll have their hands full when they got Bill Dundee and Jimmy Golden.
Again, the title's going to be on the line.
That's right. You got the big assassins, first time they've been in Boonville. You got Gilbert, Gibson, Buzz Sawyer. Altogether, it's 5 big matches in Boonville.
Yeah, that's something. The folks down there, these Assassins may be one of the best tag teams I've ever seen. It'll be their first time in Boonville right there. March the 2nd, next Friday night, Tupelo, Mississippi. Man, I know you always action in Tupelo.
Right, man, that Carson and Condrey, they've got their hands full all week long. If they hadn't got Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, they got Jimmy Golden and Bill Dundee. And in Tupelo, we've got Jarrett, Lawler and Robert Fuller. The Stomp will be there. There'll be 4 big matches in Tupelo.
And also on Friday night, Blythe will be back in action for the first time in some time.
Starting in big style in Blytheville. They got Tommy Gilbert going against the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Professor Tanaka. The Assassins being Blytheville, and Bill Dundee and Jimmy Golden being Blytheville.
And I'll tell you what.
Jimmy Golden standing right out there. Let's get in, come in and say a word.
March the 22nd in Union City, action going on.
First time in a long, long time in Union City. But
yeah, we had Jim in here just a moment ago. Jimmy, come on back in. I know that you're going to be around the territory and going to be in some tough action. You're going to be looking at Carson and Condrey.
Yes, and I just wanted to say that like I said a while ago, appreciate this opportunity, and in Tupelo and Boonville, and tonight in Jonesboro. Anytime I get the chance to go against Condrey and Hickerson, they're sporting them tag team belts around right now, and Don Carson is sporting that black glove around. Brother, we got a place for that black glove, and anytime that I get the chance with you, we're going to be coming head on. You're going to get all the wrestling that you want, brother. We're looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, here's a young fella that can put it out. Eddie, we're looking forward to some big action all around the territory. Thank you for being in here.
Thank you.
Okay, Eddie Marlin, and we hope maybe when it comes your way, you'll have a chance to get around and pick it up. Let's go to the ring, see if we can get him in. Okay, bell time, and we're waiting now with the action of our first tag match of the day, as a matter of fact. Here comes Tommy Gilbert, Roger Howell, and is a team, and the Southern Tag Team Champions, carrying their belts with them. Don Carson wearing that infamous black glove of his. And we'll go to the ring for the introductions now. Introducing first on the right of the screen, a team that weighs in at a total weight of 435 pounds from Bolivar, Tennessee, Roger Howell. And his partner out of Lexington, Tennessee, coming in at 225, Tommy Gilbert. Across the way, weighing in at a total weight of 478 pounds. On the right, from South Carolina, Dennis Condrey, and the co-holder of the Southern Tag title from Pensacola, Florida, Don Carson. Don Carson, Dennis Condrey, the Southern Tag Team Champions. This obviously is not a title match. It is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit bout. Your referee is Jerry Calhoun. Bell time, and here we go. Don Carson starting against the more experienced of the team of Gilbert and Howell. Tommy Gilbert in there with Carson. Tommy quickly into a standing side headlock, and he moves around behind to bring that arm up in a hammer position. Carson, using the ropes wisely, steps over and out. Referee gets him back. Tag on Dennis Condrey. Carson leaned back, got a gentle tag from Condrey, and here he comes. Whoop, hold it. Referee Jerry Calhoun saying, you've already made the tag. Tommy Gilbert said, let him stay. I'd love to have him in here. There's a tag. Nope. Carson comes flipping in and into the ropes. And right over the top. Beautiful by Gilbert. He moves him down into a pin position. But he wasn't able to get a 3 count out of it. Here comes Condrey. Condrey takes that sunset flip into a count of 1. But Gilbert popped the legs together, kicked his way out of it. Tag on Roger Howell. Howell goes up with a drop kick as he catches Dennis Condrey coming off the ropes. Howell picking Condrey straight up in the air, powers him down, but Condrey immediately kicks out of it. Roger with that arm whips him in. Gilbert takes the tag from Howell, slams that big elbow, and Roger right back in again. Tommy came in to do what he was supposed to do. There's that side suplex as Dennis Condrey uses the chance to tag out to Don Carson. And Roger Howell having the problem of facing the veteran wrestler Don Carson, who with Condrey has been most impressive in terms of being able to hold those tag belts since they got them. Tag back on Condrey. Look at Condrey, turns him over as he drops him down right across his knee and then picks Howell back up. He could be setting him up for a pin. He wants to be sure. There's a tag on Carson. Howell laying there as he was racked across the small of the back. Carson comes right back at it. We've passed the 2-minute mark, 13 minutes to go in this one fall 15-minute time limit bout. Dennis Condrey back in, and Roger Howell makes it to the corner, makes a tag on Tommy Gilbert. Into the corner. Gilbert caught coming out of the corner as Condrey drives that shoulder right into the midsection. He whips Gilbert across the way again. Tommy goes up, takes him back and down into a pin position. 1, 2, and that's all he got. Tommy Gilbert now with a body slam. Puts Condrey down on the mat. Carson in the corner. Can't get close enough to him for a tag. Knee lift, but Carson comes in without the benefit of a tag. Right as Tommy went over to tag Roger Howell. Whip of Condrey into the ropes. And as he comes off, a nice drop kick from Roger Howell. We're 3 minutes now into action as referee Jerry Calhoun tolls out a 2 count, and that's all. And Roger Howell grabs Dennis Condrey down, but Carson is in there to break it up, and Gilbert comes in to stop Carson. Carson fiddling with that glove, nails Roger Howell from behind, and there's a cover by Dennis Condrey. Maybe it. 1, 2, 3. 3 minutes, 42 seconds. 3:42. Carson, Condrey, and Friend on the right hand of Don Carson end up the victors in that match over young Roger Howell and Tommy Gilbert, and the crowd hollering, as they normally do, about the tactics of Dennis Condrey and Don Carson. 3:42.
Look at the team, man. Did you see that teamwork?
Yeah, I saw the teamwork, all 3 of you.
Hey, man, they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
All over the world. Dennis Condrey, Don Carson, and don't forget the cousin, you understand?
Yeah, I know that cousin. We made mention of him just a moment ago.
Look at here. We're going to go down the line. We're going to get you, Robert Fuller, Billy Dundee. Hey, Jerry Lawler, you better listen to what I'm telling you. Dennis Condrey, hey, get that camera on both of us. On both of us. Come here, partner. Look at here. Hey, we are the tag team champions. Will remain so from now on, man. Okay, show me something.
I want you to stay right here and take a look at a match that and let the public decide on it. Robert Fuller, Bill Dundee went against the Southern Tag Champions Condrey and Carson for a title match, and let's take a look at it.
Embarrass the people right here.
Yeah, okay, fine.
We're going to embarrass them right here.
Well, I don't know that.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Look at here. Look at here, Denny.
All right.
Hey.
Watch this, Lance Russell. Watch right here, baby.
What? Precision, man.
All right.
Precision.
Poetry in action right here.
Look at Robert
Look
Fuller.
here.
Look at that.
Okay, but that's immaterial right there. That's it. That's immaterial too. What counts is at the end of the match. Who wins the match, Lance Russell?
He butted him.
Watch this. Watch this right here.
Oh, I got him. I got him.
That's a good hold. That's a good hold he had on him right there.
It's a good hold.
Hey, Lance, the people all over the United States has been demanding to see Don Carson and Dennis Condrey. And we are here, man. We're here. We're in action right now. Look at this. Uh-oh, here comes Billy Dundee. Dundee, you better be careful.
That's illegal.
You better be careful,
This
Dundee.
is illegal right here.
Look,
Lance Russell. Watch right here. Watch close.
I'm watching.
Watch close. Watch right here, Lance Russell. This is illegal right here.
In the throat.
Dundee covers Condrey. Carson and Condrey.
I got to move him, man.
What are you doing in there?
Hey, look at here, Robert Fuller. Always sticking his nose where it don't belong.
I can knock my partner's head off here. That's illegal. Punches are not allowed in
Look at here.
wrestling.
Let me show you something. Let me show you
Look
something.
at
Look
here.
at both of
A
them.
double backdrop, Lance Russell.
Once again.
Watch here. Watch me kick out right here.
Look here. I'm mad, man. I am mad right now. Look at that. I took his punch. I took another punch. But he couldn't take mine. He couldn't take
take mine. He couldn't take my punch. Look, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
And Carson up above us here, unlacing that glove.
Hey, Lance.
Literally mean that.
Listen, the people are so happy. We are the winners. Now look, people, if you want to see the greatest, look, you are looking at it right now. Look at the belts. Hush, I'm talking. Hey, look at the championship belts, man. Look at the team. Look at precision. Look at all of it, man. Let's go. Let's go, Denny, all the way.
Okay, Don Carson, Dennis Condrey. Non-stop verbal assault when you get out here with Carson and Condrey. We've got more wrestling action. We're going to be taking a look at it right after we take time out for this. Star Dundee heard a little conversation just a moment ago as we said the non-stop verbal assault from Condrey and Carson. These guys, they run their mouths something fierce.
Yeah, verbally, they're pretty tough, Lance. As you know, they're pretty tough. When you have to get in the ring, get on that mat right there, about all you got going for you, fellas, is Dennis Condrey as a partner, Don Carson, and that cousin that you wear on your hand. The thing you so proudly call your cousin, and I think somebody ought to do something about that instead of just letting it lay out here, hitting people with a
black glove, Lance.
We all saw it just a few minutes ago. We saw that he hit the Howard fella out here with a black glove. It's just not right, Lance. Something's going to be done about it. Carson, if we have to police the situations ourselves to do something about that glove, then that's what we'll do. But we maintain that we're going to be the champions by next week, Lance.
Billy, one of the things that I was sorry that just so happened in all the action in the particular tape that we saw on that bout that you and Robert went against Carson and Condrey, we didn't catch all of Carson out there, and whatever he does with that glove. All we saw him come in there, but you felt it.
That's right.
Thing.
Lance, the black glove in itself is not the issue here. He does something. I don't know whether he's got a piece of metal that he slides up the arm and slides it back down, then he nails you with it. But, Carson, let me tell you something. You had something in the glove when he hit me. I know. I still got the knot in my head. Well, you bring the black glove on down, brother, and we're going to stick it where the sun don't shine. Because without the glove, Don Carson ain't nothing.
Well, Monday night is it, and they're going to have those titles on the line again, Robert. I know you and Billy like to have them. Take them away from them.
That's right. Monday night's the night, because that's the night we're going to become the champions, and there's going to be a new situation around here concerning that glove, Carson. Like I said, if we have to police the things ourselves and not have it taken care of, you're going to run around here with a black glove, son, and we'll just pull it off of you like Dundee said and put it where the sun don't shine. There's going to be some new champions around here, and there are going to be some champions I think the people are going to be proud of watching wrestle out there, and that's going to be the name of the game, Lance, is wrestling.
That is going to be great if you can do it. I'd love to see you get that glove off and put it on your hand yourself.
We can't get it Monday, we get it Thursday in book.
Okay, we'll be looking for it. All right, Billy Dundee, Robert Fuller. They're hopping up into the ring, Fuller and Dundee, and coming against them, their opponents for the day. Danny Davis, the Destroyer, and it'll be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit tag match. Introducing on the left of the screen, coming in at a total weight of 424 pounds. Introducing from parts unknown, the Destroyer and his partner. Introducing Danny Davis. Danny Davis and the Destroyer. Their opponents across the way, coming in at 240 pounds. From Atlanta, Georgia, Robert Fuller. And his partner from Australia, Billy Superstar Dundee. One fall, 15-minute time limit bout. Referee Jerry Calhoun. Bell time. And here we go. Obviously heavily favored in this one, but Dundee meeting an old antagonist of his, and Danny Davis. They've had some scraps in there, and this Davis, who just took a broad arm from Dundee as he went out of the ring. Bill drawing a little reprimand from the referee for hitting as he went out of the ring. Robert Fuller into a head scissors, and Davis kicks his way out. Davis, a leg dive from Robert, single dive, and he takes him down, pulls him to the corner, tag on Dundee. Oh, little wishbone treatment there. Danny Davis up and down with a body slam as Bill Dundee power drives him into that mat, but Davis gets out at a count of 2. And a mare from Dundee with Davis over, and look at him drive forward in there and tag his partner, the Destroyer. The Destroyer and Davis we've seen in several matches, and they've been more impressive recently since they've had a little experience together. Dundee whirls around behind, tags Robert Fuller, and here comes Big Robert. Over and down goes the Destroyer. Look at Robert powering that big body slam. But when you're up there over the head of Robert Fuller, you're a long way up. Robert coming in for cover one, but that's all he can get. Davis was in the ring. The Destroyer had actually gotten him kicked off just as Davis got there. Dundee from behind in a sleeper hold. Here we've got Robert Fuller and Danny Davis going at it. I really have lost track of who the official one's in the ring. I'm not sure the referee knows. Yep. Jerry Calhoun is staying with Fuller and Davis, going around behind in an abdominal stretch, and this may be it. That's going to be it as Robert Fuller stretches out that long body around Danny Davis. And in 1 minute, 48 seconds, 1:48, while Dundee was putting the Destroyer to sleep to keep him out of the way from interfering, Robert Fuller whipped Danny Davis into the rope, came out, grapevined himself around in that abdominal stretch, got it in there, and Danny Davis did the smart thing. When a guy as tall as Robert can get that abdominal stretch on you, boy, he can take it all the way from that left shoulder down to the right leg or vice versa, depending on which side he goes to. And it's a smart thing to go away and come back again another day rather than trying to continue to stay in there and take the punishment he can dish out. 1:48, the winners, Robert Fuller, Bill Dundee, and we have more wrestling action in just a moment. Gorgeous George Jr. So if you guys will join us here while we take a look. You're looking very dapper today, I must say. Gorgeous. Let's take a look at this action. Tommy Gilbert in there, who I think maybe surprised your boy, the Mongolian Stomper, with a viciousness that he was able to come when he was hurt in there.
Well, the way I look at it,
once again, the Stomper pounding.
The only surprise in the whole match was when Gilbert woke up at the end and found out that he had been beaten. But don't let that make you feel bad, because you can tell everybody that you had the opportunity, Gilbert, to step into the ring against the 8th wonder of the world, to be defeated, of course, but this is great to even be able to step into the ring with the 8th wonder of the world.
Well, Tommy Gilbert stepped in there, and he gave it everything that he had to give in there. I think that some of the crowd was not exactly satisfied with the way the match ended up, and Gorgeous George Jr. took an opportunity to talk to some of the people out there about their conduct, which you seem
Well, you see, I don't know what it is with people. When you tell them not to do something, that's exactly what they're going to do. I told them people to please sit down in a nice way. I told them please hold down the noise in a nice way, because the noise hurts the Stomper's ears. Now when his ears get to hurting, it's just like a dog that has pains. They'll go crazy. And that's exactly what he does. He just goes berserk, and I can't even control him. Well, most of the time I can, but there's times when I can't control him when that noise is excruciating like it is to his ears.
He's about to have a little problem when he starts threatening the referee in there, and he wisely heeded the word of the referee. Tommy Gilbert wasn't through by a long shot, as he came back in to show that he was dead game and ready to go against your huge Stomper.
That's what you call real scientific wrestling, isn't it? Everything that boy's done, and I call him a boy too, except for that drop kick right there, has been illegal. So, if that's what you people condone, I guess that's the way it's supposed to be, huh?
I didn't say I condoned it. Sometimes that's what you have to do when you're faced with certain circumstances.
Poor boy fell right out of the ring again.
Yeah, he sure did.
He skinned up his jaw or something. Now, get up there, Tommy, you little boy. You, get up now. Try to get in that ring, get your faculties back together, get in there and try to defeat the 8th wonder. Of course, it won't happen, but that's the thing to do, right, Lance?
Bout that took place in the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, as the Stomper on a headbutt right there. And there's a count of 3 as Tommy Gilbert was the victim of what has become a situation where this giant right here is butting guys all over the ring everywhere that he goes. He really has been using that head, and maybe the headgear. I won't make any comment about that. I'll leave that to some of the fans to have some conversation.
That's a wise decision, Lance Russell. And being we're on the part of winning, why don't we just step into the ring and just win another one?
Please do. You've got a single match coming up here. The Mongolian Stomper, the 8th wonder of the world, as described by Gorgeous George Jr., his manager. So let's go to the ring for the introductions. This will be a one-fall 15-minute time limit bout out of Montgomery, Alabama, coming in at 226 pounds. Burrhead Jones. And his opponent coming in at 272 pounds from Mongolia. Introducing the Mongolian Stomper, is presented by Gorgeous George Jr. Your referee is Jerry Calhoun. One fall, 15 minutes. And I never envy anybody who has to go in there and face the big Stomper. He is an incredible human specimen. Very, very strong. Bell time, and Gorgeous George Jr. down in a chair along ringside. Strange positioning. The Stomper right away with Burrhead. Pops that knee up into the midsection. Burrhead slammed into a turnbuckle. Into the ropes. And the Stomper takes him over and down. Mongolian Stomper fires Burrhead Jones right out on the floor. Gorgeous George Jr. helping him back up into the ring. Yeah, where the Stomper immediately puts him back down on the floor. With that foot, the referee being threatened by the Stomper. And once again, Gorgeous George helping Burrhead back up off the floor. Mongolian Stomper over. Pulls him up into the ring, takes him over the shoulder and down. Down and away. Referee trying to make him let go of the hair. There you got a good look at the Mongolian Stomper. Ooh. Double chop as he went at him. He got him with that cross right straight up at the throat, it looked like to me. Stomps on him, 1, 2, and he elects not to go. He elects not to go. Uh-oh, Burrhead bleeding. Mongolian Stomper, once again, with that big foot, puts him down. Picks him up in a power slam. Down goes Burrhead Jones. As the Stomper now hooks him, takes him up to his feet. We're at the 2-minute and 15-second mark. Mongolian Stomper, Burrhead Jones, and this could be it. That's going to be it. He got him in a sleeper. That particular style sleeper that you are looking at right now is very close to the Japanese sleeper that's used, where the wrist bone on one side is against the wrist bone on the other side and the pressure points. And the winners in 2 minutes and 32 seconds of that bout, the official winner, the Mongolian Stomper. Out of the ring, Gorgeous George Jr. and the Mongolian Stomper. And Burrhead Jones.
Still in there quivering a little bit. He don't know what's going on. The poor boy got his head broke open. He went to sleep. He's completely in an oblivion, and that's really nice.
Yeah. They're trying to help him, get him up out of the ring in there, where the Stomper had busted his head open and put him into a sleeper hole. Yep. Well,
let me say one thing to you, Bob Armstrong. Ooh. Bob Armstrong, you made a big mistake when you didn't show up last week, right?
Yeah,
a big mistake.
Snow in the airport.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
Snow in the airport. Well, let me say one thing to you. I've psyched up the Mongolian Stomper now, where he's really on the warpath. He'll do the same thing to you, Armstrong, that he done to this Burrhead Jones and that he done to that Tommy Gilbert last week. And oh yeah, one extra added attraction, one big treat for all you wrestling fans. Gorgeous George Jr. is going to give you a real treat. I'm going to step into the ring, and I'm going to wrestle against, what is that young
Jimmy Golden.
Jimmy Golden. The little fair-haired boy that runs around just flexing his muscles. The only muscle he's got is right here on the top of his body, and that's his head.
If you would permit me to make a comment, since Bob Armstrong is not here, he was frozen into the Atlanta airport, as everybody knows, so that Bob couldn't be here last Sunday. He will, in fact, be here Monday night, and a Mongolian Stomper is going to see something that I don't have to tell you. You know Armstrong's reputation. Here's a guy who's been called many times the uncrowned champion of the world.
Stop and think about it, big boy. Look at this man right here.
the Mongolian Stomper, the 8th wonder of the world, stepping in there against Bob Armstrong, and you think Bob Armstrong has got a chance? When he puts the Shinomaki on him, when he puts the claw on you, Bob Armstrong, it'll be all over with. It's bye-bye, back to frozen ground country. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, all I can tell you is it's going to be interesting to see the bout get together, because I think you're going to find that it is not going to be the pushover that Mr. Gorgeous George Jr. presents it to be when he goes against Bob Armstrong. There he goes, the winner, Mongolian Stomper, and Gorgeous George Jr. More action coming up, and we'll see the big about the two-ring battle royal, the two-ring triple chance tag battle royal. A couple of the guys that were interested in it, Bill Dundee and Robert Fuller, got together to talk about it. They had an interesting conversation about what I think is one of the most fascinating styles of wrestling matches there is, the double-ring triple chance battle royal. Let's listen to Bill and Robert.
Last week we spoke a little bit about the Battle Royal, and I felt that we would take this opportunity. I have Robert Fuller here and Bill Dundee to discuss the Battle Royal. Robert is fortunate enough that he was the winner of the world's biggest, most prestigious Battle Royal to this date. He won the $15,000 Battle Royal in the Omni in Atlanta. Bill is a veteran of 4 or 5, I think, Battle Royals, and wanted to take an opportunity here to talk about it and explain it to the fans. It's a big event. We're trying to put one together. And Robert, to start off with, if I could get you just to tell the people more or less how it works.
Yeah, actually it's a pretty simple procedure. You have 2 rings, and that's where you get the 2-ring triple chance battle royal. But if you can visualize 2 rings here at the end of my hands, a ring 1 here and a ring 2, you'll visualize how the chances take place. The first chance, last 2 men left in ring 1 and the last 2 men left in ring 2 initiate the 3rd chance. That means that they'll have a tag match, as you well know, and the winners of that tag match will then split the profits of whatever's involved in the thing. And I understand that in the battle royals that are upcoming, they're going to be quite awesome.
Yeah, well, to make it a little bit interesting, we're trying to put it all together and have a $10,000 or $20,000 prize, which if we can go for the $20,000, it would make us the biggest battle royal in the world that we've ever had. Y'all were having a little conversation before Mike got here with the camera, and I thought it was real interesting. Bill, if you'll kind of go over that conversation, Robert has a different view on the strategy of a battle royal, and he was successful in Atlanta in the Omni, and from the way y'all are talking and have things laid out, I think you'll be successful again. Would you explain Robert's strategy as to how it relates to you two?
What he told me, Jerry, was he said most guys, and I was guilty of this too, go into the battle royal just fending for themselves. He said, Bill, in this kind of thing, there's got to be 2 guys going in there thinking as one. He said, now we're going to try and be the champions, the tag team champions for the belts, right? I said, yeah. He said, so if we go in there and we be a team, Robert Fuller and Bill Dundee thinking as one guy, we could stand a better chance. It's a lot easier 2 guys taking 1 guy and dumping him over the top rope as it is trying to get 1 guy to dump 1 guy over. So he said, if we stick together as a team, he said, I believe we can win this thing. So that's what we're going to do, believe me.
So in other words, Robert, to start out with, while it's a triple chance and there's 15, 20, 30 men in the ring, you and Bill, I presume, are going to start out as a team.
That's right. If anybody, or my thinking on the thing, anybody that figures they're going to go in a triple chance battle royal with 2 rings and win that thing by themselves, they're wrong right off the bat. You've got to have a partner. You're going to wind up with a partner, and that partner better be compatible with what you're thinking. I think that's been Bill's problem, that he's wound up with a few partners like Valiant or this guy or that guy that wasn't thinking just like him, and it was quite impossible to go in there and get their heads together against 2 guys who are really serious about winning 10 or 15 or even, like you said, possibly $20,000. It's something where Bill and I were going to have to go in, just stand back to back. If one of us loses and
gets thrown over into that second ring, it's a good chance you'll see the other one just jump right over the rope and go in with him, because we got to stay together. If we wind up with a partner that we're non-compatible with, then it's going to be more or less impossible to win an event like this. The $20,000, like you said, gives you the edge, because guys would be quick to say, well, you know, 10 grand, I'll do most anything. So there you might wind up with some partners who will be compatible when they normally wouldn't, but that's what makes it exciting, really. But Bill and I, we plan to cut down on the excitement by going all the way through this thing, staying in ring 1 if possible, or both of us winding up in ring 2, making the team that's going to win the thing, Jerry.
All right, let me ask you this, because I know in your particular situation, Professor Tanaka has been a thorn in your side. The first thing he did was he cost you the Southern Tag Championships. You won them, and because of him not wanting to be your partner, you had to forfeit those belts. The other thing, of course, he is the Southern champion by default, in that your brother had some personal problems, couldn't show up for the title match, and he was handed that Southern Heavyweight Championship. So the reason I'm making this point, I know that Tanaka is not one of the 10 most likable men that you have on your list.
Not on my list. No.
Now let's just assume that the best laid plans of mice and men often don't work out. I know that you and Bill are going to try, but let's assume that something were to happen to Bill and he got eliminated from ring 2 also, and you were left, and Tanaka was left in ring 2, and there were 2 other men in ring 1.
Now the price is 20.
A lot of money by anybody's standards. What do you do in that kind of situation?
Well, I try to please number 1 in that situation, and what's going to please me most is I'm out. I wouldn't enter in this event unless I thought I had an opportunity to win 1/2 of that money, $10,000 you're talking about, and I'd take Tanaka as a partner, and I'd try to win the thing. As far as trying to team up with Tanaka and win another title, we can forget it. But as far as getting in this tournament and expecting to win this thing, I hope to go through it with Bill, and I know Bill hopes to go through it with me. But either way, one of us guys hopes to come out with that money, and we're going to try to do it.
All right, Bill, let me ask you the same question, because to me, this is the interesting aspect of the Triple Chance Battle Royal. Anything can take place, any combinations can take place. If one of your arch enemies, we in the wrestling business, we wrestle opponents, and sometimes we aren't particularly fond of them, but we don't really hate them. In a situation that really one of your arch enemies ended up as your partner, would you go ahead for that one match and wrestle with him for the $20,000, $10,000?
Well, Jerry, anybody that said that they wouldn't, I think they'd be lying to you, because this is why we're going into the wrestling profession in the first place, was to make money. And this, if Robert and I both get through, it'll be my biggest payday in any one given night, $10,000. That's half of 20, right? So if it was the Stomper, if it was anybody at all, Gorgeous George, yeah, I would sign the contract for one night. I wouldn't want to go further than one night, but I would be trying that night for sure.
Yeah.
That's what makes it the greatest event in all the world.
Yeah, it sure is, and I'm looking forward to it. And I know it would be a big event to sit down and plan something in your mind and go through and have it all work out and then win it. It would be mighty gratifying, as well as a nice payday. So I hope it works out for you. I hope that the fans better understand what a Triple Chance Battle Royal is, and I know you're looking forward to the big event.
Absolutely.
Particularly interesting aspect in that it is a tag rather than a single Triple Chance double ring. That was an exciting match. We'd like to see some action from it. Professor Tanaka, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, defending against Jimmy Golden when Bob Armstrong was unable to be at a match due to inclement weather at an airport. Let's look at it. I don't know that we're going to have time for any of the Southern Tag title match. Jimmy Golden battling for all he's worth to stay in there with Tanaka on the Southern Heavyweight title match. There's that grab again standing. Look at Tanaka. And Jimmy Golden doubled over in the corner right up above our camera. Whoa. Wicked chop. Tanaka was going with a double chop on, and Jimmy caught him with a stretched out drop kick. Beautiful. He nails Tanaka. Jimmy Golden pounded away. Catches him in the midsection, and boy, did he double him over. Oh, beauty. He hit him with a combination fist, broad arm, right in the midsection, pounds him on the back. Jimmy Golden making a move. Referee warning him about using the fist. And Golden fires out of that side headlock. Referee Paul Morton goes down. Tanaka right out of the corner. A jab. Tanaka moves in on Jim Golden. The crowd hollering at something again. It looked like Tanaka may have been going to his tights. Golden is choking. He obviously had him somewhere around the throat. Jimmy, now we can see it. He goes to the string in his tights. Has it well covered from the referee, and Jimmy Golden gasping for air as the referee trying to get around that block that's Tanaka's shoulders. Once again, Tanaka pulls Golden down and wraps that string around him, covers it up with his arm in what looks like a reverse face lock, and the referee having a heart. He's going to call for a disqualification. He caught him. Tanaka will not let loose, as he has that string around Golden's throat. Here comes Buzz Sawyer, Bill Dundee, and Tanaka takes to the side of the ring. Jimmy Golden, beaten, hammered, came back, really unleashed a great drop kick on Tanaka. Tanaka, however, resorted as he went down. We could see him, not the first time, but the second time, right at our camera. He pulled that string out of his tights, was choking Golden, and finally the referee caught him and disqualified Tanaka. The time was 9 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, Jimmy ended up winning that one by disqualification over Professor Tanaka, and that's a good win any way you get it. Tanaka, who we have not seen that much of, heard about Tanaka a long time, and by golly, he's some kind of tough guy. Okay, we're going to be back right after we take time out for intermission.
That last night I was supposed to be in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I did not make it down there last night, but I will be there this coming Friday. Robert Fuller and myself will be there for a big Texas death match in Tupelo. I wanted to mention that. And also, I wanted to say hello to a lot of people that some fine folks that I got to see last Sunday over at the Johnson Care Home. I judged a beauty contest, and the winner was Crown the Queen. She was, I think, 89 years old. Lovely little lady, and it was a lot of fun, so I want to say hello to all of those folks. Now, you want to talk about Monday night and Toru Tanaka.
Toru Tanaka, the Southern Heavyweight Champ. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier, and if you would, I'd like for you to stay here and listen to what this big Japanese wrestler had to say in terms of his championship.
Okay.
We have not had the opportunity to interview the new Southern Heavyweight Champion, Professor Toru Tanaka. We'd asked him once before, and that was after he and Robert Fuller had won the Southern Tag Team. He refused to come back and wrestle with him, but he did win the Southern Heavyweight title match, or title, and he will be putting that on the line against a guy who has held the title longer than anybody. That's next Monday night, Jerry the King Lawler.
Let me first say this to Mr. Lawler if he's watching monitor. Mr. Lawler, you are an ex-king. I am a king, number one. You are past king. You're no more champion. You're no more number one king. I am the king now. All ex-kings looking forward to try to come back to take title again. But you, I'm going to make you ex-king. You wait and see.
Professor Toru Tanaka, the Southern Heavyweight Champion. When he's through with an interview, he's through with an interview.
Didn't have a lot to say, but that didn't keep him from talking, did it? Yeah. You know, and I couldn't really hear exactly what I said, but I've heard through the grapevine some of the things that he's been saying. I know one thing that he's got in mind. You know, I think he says that, well, I'm sure that he is well-versed in martial arts. He thinks he's a big karate and judo champion, and he has said that there's no way that anybody with a broken hand is going to be able to stand up to a black belt in karate. Well, what we're going to find out, you know, he says he's the champion, but to me, he certainly hasn't convinced me that he's a champion. He hasn't beaten anybody. He didn't beat Ron Fuller to win the belt. You know, the belt was handed to him. Right. He didn't beat Jimmy Golden last week. He hadn't beaten anybody, and he's walking around calling himself the champion. Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the last person that won that title was Austin Idol. Because Ron Fuller didn't beat Austin Idol. If the truth was known about that, I won the belt for Ron Fuller by distracting Austin Idol. That's how he got the belt. Then Toru Tanaka, he gets the belt handed from Ron Fuller over to him. Now, I've beaten Austin Idol. We got him out of my hair finally. He's gone for good, I hope. Now we got Toru Tanaka, who's calling himself a champion. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Tanaka. You call me the ex-king if you want to. Well, you can ask anybody around this town who the king is, and they're going to tell you it's me right here. And if you think I'm the ex-king, you just come down there Monday night, and you're going to find out. The only thing that's going to be an X in that Mid-South Coliseum Monday night is going to be you. You're going to be the ex-Southern heavyweight champion. We're going to get that belt back around my waist where it belongs, where it rightfully belongs, Mr. Tanaka, and we're going to just see how well this cast can stand up against that martial arts, and I think it's going to do pretty doggone well.
We'll look at it. That'll be coming up Monday night. Good luck to you down there, Jerry, and we're going to see him back in action trying to get his belt back. We got young Mike Stallings, who will be making his first appearance in quite some time on Studio Wrestling, and we'll get to him in just a moment. The expiration of time, introducing on the left of the screen, coming in at 246 pounds from Memphis, Tennessee, introducing Rick Miller. Rick Miller. His opponent coming out of Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 233 pounds, introducing Mike Stallings. Stallings. Your referee is Jerry Calhoun, a one-fall 15-minute time limit, and bell time. We're off and running. Haven't seen Mike in months, as a matter of fact. Mike was around the area and was on TV Studio Wrestling a couple of times, but haven't seen him in quite some time. As a matter of fact, here, we did see a match that Mike had with Bob Orton Jr. in Knoxville, Tennessee, and let me tell you, boy, this guy has really come along. Look at that fine move. Hooks the leg, scissors him down straight forward, moves up behind, and bars that arm back towards the back. Rick Miller. A little weight advantage. Mike taller. He moves. Side suplex. Bam! A beauty. He really rattled him down. Mike Stallings with that side suplex on Rick Miller. Miller back up around. Looking. Referee Jerry Calhoun. Single leg dive takes him over. Drops with the upper arm. Rick Miller down on the deck as Mike Stallings holding on tight to that leg. Ooh, a little hair pulling. The referee says break it up. Stallings finds a way to break it up. We're a minute into the action in a one-fall expiration of time bout. Mike Stallings, Rick Miller pulled to the ring apron. And it is going to be a break. The referee says back up, Mike, and he gives him a good clean break. Miller back up to the center of the ring. Stallings looking for a spot to go. He hadn't really gone for a pin situation. He tried to switch in behind him there, had a nice move, but Miller swung around. But see how Stallings adjusted? Took him over and down, got a 1 count, but the Miller is back up on his feet and to the center of the ring once again. Minute and a half into action as Mike Stallings with his back to your living room takes Rick Miller down. Nice, rolls him over. Right shoulder is up. He'll never get a count out of that. Mike goes into the leg now, seeing that he doesn't have both of them down. A little punishment outside with that toe hold. He goes. Man, he is really taking that thing outside. That will play havoc with the knee, particularly if there's any calcium deposits, which a lot of athletes have on their knees. It will really wear you out when that toe hold is taken to the outside. Up under the ropes again. Stallings and Miller back to the center of the ring. Mike comes in. Oh, hooks it heavy on that head. Miller grabs the hair and pulls Stallings back into the ropes. It'll call for another break. And Miller at 2.5 minutes in takes a shot from Mike Stallings. A little irritated about the hair pulling, and he's explaining to the referee, you tell him to stay out of my hair and keep the fist open, and I'll do the same. To the center of the ring, Mike Stallings and Rick Miller in action. Mike wheels that arm up. Putting some mustard on it as he drops down with the upper arm on Rick Miller's shoulder. Miller, that left arm, a little limp right now where Stallings has been working on it. He has Miller between a rock and a hard place at 3.5 minutes into this final bout of action as Mike Stallings drops again on that arm. Rick Miller has not been able to mount any kind of offensive against Stallings. Mike, with a knee lift, puts Miller down in the center of the ring. And with a big upper arm, drops down on him. Stallings dominant through the first 4 minutes of action. Picks Miller up. Power drives him into the center of that mat. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 minutes, 2 seconds. Mike Stallings. First appearance in quite some time on TV5 Studio Wrestling. Comes through with a 4-minute and 2-second victory over heavier Rick Miller. Miller just could not get it going. Stallings used enough speed to keep him off balance and continually was able to reverse whatever problems he had with him. And coming out, the victor in there is Mike Stallings.